I think people don't know that about babies.
Yeah, because people think babies are not very smart. They're pretty useless, aren't they? They can't look after themselves. They need us to do everything, and they just sit and gurgle. That's what, on the face of it.
That's
Yeah,
what our
yeah,
culture taught
yeah.
us. Another person who was really influential on the way that I think is a guy named Colwyn Trevarthen, who was at Edinburgh University. And what he discovered in his research is that babies come into the world already connected to other people. The fancy name for that is intersubjectivity, but because that's a big, long, scary word that does not feel familiar to most people, I call that connection. Mm-hmm. What Colwyn was able to show in the 1970s is that human beings are born with a brain that is already making sense of your face. So a baby is tracking your eye gaze and your mouth and your eyebrows and the crinkles in your forehead and the tip of your head, mm-hmm. and the rhythm that is happening in relation to the baby. Human beings are born attuned to other people and making sense, even though the baby might misinterpret it. The baby is making a sense of their experience of you, mm-hmm. of the parent. And then that interpretation becomes wired into their body. Mm-hmm. I think people don't know that about babies.
Yeah, because people think babies are not very smart. They're pretty useless, aren't they? They can't look after themselves. They need us to do everything, and they just sit and gurgle. That's what, on the face of it.
That's what our culture taught us. What Colwyn Trevarthen and many of his colleagues in the 1970s, so it's not like yesterday, in the 1970s, discovered was this incredibly sophisticated, reciprocal capacity to relate to other people.
Yeah. And babies learn about the social world from those interactions.
In fact, they experience their social world. They don't just learn it, they experience it. And it becomes built into their body. So I often start there. The thing that I say most often is that babies are born already connected to other people. If we understood that, all of the stuff that follows from that begins to make more sense. We are wired to be social creatures from birth, in fact, from before birth, because the baby already knows the sounds of the voices of the people that are in the world before they're born. Mm-hmm. Once you know that, you can then start to think about the implications of that, which are both fascinating and deeply unnerving, because it means that the way we treat our babies is having an impact on them long before most of the time people think babies are taking any notice of it at all.